Welcome back to Better Than Fiction with Jeanette and Eden. October flew by.
No kidding, I don't know where it went.
Yeah, I was just telling Jeanette, I feel like we just recorded last month's video and here we are again. So, yeah, we did some reading.
And did some not reading.
And then we did some not reading this month for sure. I'll do my wrap up first. I read Piranesi. I'm never gonna Piranesi by Susanna Clark. This won the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2021. Yeah, 2021. Fantastic. A little slow from the get-go for me to kind of get into it, but once things started to unravel, I couldn't put it down. It was fantastic. Excellent world building. Yeah, and the character was quirky enough too, so.
And that makes me want to read it. It's been on my TBR list since it was on the list, but I'm not a mythology person, so I've kind of stayed away, but now.
It's not too mythology, not heavy on the mythology of.
Wonderful. I like characters because, you know, I have read and gotten really into the Haynes mythology and her stories, so maybe I'm not, as long as it's not all over about the mythology and the legend itself, but more about the world about it.
The experience in the labyrinth. Yeah, that's it.
I'm excited now. I'll have to make that a little sooner.
Yeah, yep. So that was great. And then my book prompt. The book prompt was Enemy to Lovers versus Friends to Lovers. And I thought I was going to read Enemies to Lover because that's my favorite. But I ended up reading A Friends to Lover by accident. In a Holidays by Christina Lauren.
We both read holiday books.
Yeah, so it was good. It was good for Friends to Lover. It's gonna be a book club book for
there is
December,
a little bit of a tease there because we don't tell book club books early.
But it will be a book club book.
Ooh, for those of you that watch, you just got the
got the down low. Yeah,
you got the in.
And then my nonfiction, this is the one I just didn't read. I started it. I think I'm like 60 pages in. I just don't want to read nonfiction right now. I'm not in the mood for it, and I just can't bother to pick it up. But I did pick up a different nonfiction that I was very interested in, reading The Green Witch. We got a bunch of new kind of this literature in. And I knew I wanted to read that, so I picked that one up instead. And I'm in the middle of that one still, too. But I just didn't want to read nonfiction.
Well, I'm afraid I am also in that same boat. And that's something we kind of wanted to talk about is, you know, we had these reading challenges, and this one with nonfiction I thought was fun. It opened me from my box, you know, my reading box of nonfiction. But I just didn't want to read it, and I was literally picking something that was not on my TBR list so that I could fill in a 600. And it's like, we were then discussing, wait a minute, this is not what this is intended to do. It was to open your mind a little bit and get you to read maybe something else. But in the end, I wanted to read my TBR list down. And I had a wedding this month. My daughter got married, and we've been really busy at work. Yes. We are planning, as another teaser, you will not want to miss us on DeWitt's Hometown Christmas. You will not want to miss us. Yeah. So we're already into that planning, and I just want to relax when I read this month. I just want to read stuff that I want to read and not be forced to read. And I don't typically read 600s or 400s.
Yeah.
So I probably won't working into it. And that's what we want to remind all of you is, you know, reading should be enjoyable. We are not your teacher. We're not school. And we have to remind ourselves of that too. Read off your TBR list. Have fun on how to pick it. Yeah. Not that you should be feeling like you have to go choose a number.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything on your TBR list or interested when we post new books or whatever, don't read it. And so that's where we are. So I did read Enemies to Lovers, and it was also Holidays. It was Along Came Holly by Cody Hall. It was really fun. Read it in 2 nights. And to me, it was Hallmark with spice.
Yeah.
Hallmark with spice. It was just delightful. It made me really laugh. But yeah, it had some friendships in there that makes me want to read the other ones in the series. It's actually a third book in a series.
Sure.
So I'm gonna have to go find the other ones. I am so. I want to say I'm very excited about my bingo sheet because I have been using this to go pull from my TBR.
Yeah.
The one I did have to go find though is the book written from the year I was born. None of those were on my TBR list. I read an interesting book. I felt it was interesting. For the time, it got some attention for its sexual content, which makes me laugh a lot considering, 1972. Think about those books. I had to read aloud a quote, a sexual content part, and it was very non-sexual content.
Yeah.
It was very boring. And it was very big words and academic, and not even, very literary. It won the International Booker Award at the year it was done, called G. It was literally a G period by Berger. And it was a tough read.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible, but it was a tough read. So I only got 2 left, so I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh.
I also read The Last Green Valley, which was my number 10. And it was World War II fiction, but it was actually looking at the Ukraine area, what the life was under Stalin before World War II, and I want to say Holodomor, which was the starving time when Stalin literally starved out the Ukraine before World War II, because they made them still grow it, but then it all got shipped into Russia and out for commerce reasons, and literally starved the people, and then took families who were still, after Germany had to retreat out of the Russia and Ukraine. You saw families following the Germans because they already remembered what life was like under Stalin and didn't want that again. So it had so much, and it's actually based on a true story, a true family who ended up in Montana. They actually did the whole idea was they wanted to find a green valley for themselves, because that's what they left. And they ended up in Montana, and what was nice is at the end, it talked about the real the family that wasn't fictionalized
Cool.
and there. So it was not a biography of this family, but the whole book was about them. And so you got to see a couple of generations later what all this sacrifice, because it's a great book. We do have it here in the library. I would highly recommend it. Totally different World War II fiction than what's been really popular lately.
Yeah, great. I did bring something from my bingo sheet. It's been a couple months, but I realized I did.
I am kicking Eden's butt.
She is. I'm not even close to a bingo. I lied. I have 2 bingo spots, but I don't know if I'll get there. I read a folklore book finally, which this is something I do enjoy reading. It just took me till October to pick one up, and I did it by accident. I read The Salt That Grows by Cassandra Khaw. It is a horror, which is a little different for me as well. And then this one scared me a little bit. I don't like a whole lot of body horror, that gory, like,
changing
stuff. And that was what this book was on. It was The Little Mermaid.
In a very abstract format.
Yes,
you are
very abstract. Yeah,
you may or may not recognize it.
hardly. Yeah, it's like the happily ever after the happily ever after, but it's not a happily ever after for this mermaid.
No.
Read at your own risk.
It is very short though.
It was a quick read.
It is actually a very small book.
But it did scare me, so
it was
that was a little dark for me, but
read
I
it
finally
in
did
the
it.
short daytimes that we're not gonna have.
Yes, yeah. Great. Do you want to, well,
Let's go.
Yeah.
What do we have left? Here we got 2 months.
yeah.
We got 9 and 12 here.
12, okay.
I'm really
I
hoping.
hope you picked 12.
I did!
Yeah! Yes.
This is a book that I don't know if I can find again. It's The City of a Thousand Gates. I don't even remember how this was put on my list.
Oh, that's the white with the blue cover.
All right,
I know
then
what you're
it's white
talking
with the blue
about.
cover. It's been, we did these clear back in December or January. So, okay, it's white with the blue cover, and I will be reading it. I obviously put it there because I wanted to read it.
Yeah.
So that's the one I'm going to read.
That came out last year. That's
Yes.
a big book. That's commitment.
Oh, commitment book in holiday time.
I got my commitment book too, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I wish I could remember this one to look forward to it. Obviously, I wanted to read it.
Right, yeah. Well, I'm reading The House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book of a series that I've wanted to read. I'm finishing up her first series right now, so I'm excited to get into this one because the third book of this series comes out in January.
On order already, by the way.
Yes, so I am so excited to finally get to this one.
Yeah. All right.
That's great. And then book prompt. Let's see what we get.
Read a book that is recommended.
Okay, very broad.
Very broad.
I recommend Piranesi.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I can read off my TBR through my recommended.
There you go.
Perfect. And I know that one of my last squares in my bingo sheet, I need to read a Christian fiction, so I'm picking up Sister Chicks on the Loose. It looks like it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
Not a romance, but two middle-aged women out for some adventure. So there we go.
Love that. I might be picking up maybe finally a historical fiction from in an Eastern country. I've got my eyes on Lisa C. She does historical fiction. Isn't Lisa C?
Yeah, it's Asian.
Yeah.
It's Asian writing. And she's very good.
That one, yeah.
Quick reads,
Yeah.
usually.
Or my other bingo spot is also a Christian fiction. So we'll see if I can get a bingo by the end of the year.
Well, my
At least
goal
one.
is my last square is to read a book with an LGBTQ plus theme, and I already know that T.J. Klune, who wrote House on the Cerulean Sea, which I loved. His second book that came out right after that, which is The House of Puppets, or something with puppets in the title. That one's been on my TBR, so I will be picking that up. It's a very colorful cover, and I just like his building, and his characters are great. So I'm hoping to get 2 squares. But then I also have my commitment book in holiday season.
Yeah.
So
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck to
yes.
us. Oh,
So
nonfictions. I'm gonna keep trying to read my Romanoff book. I'll get there. It's just going 2 months.
I actually have one at home I really want to read. It's called Overachiever, and it's looking at the fact that when we get to where we want to be, it's never enough, and how that plays on our kids' psyches, on our own happiness and anxiety levels, and kind of where does that stop. So, but I think that's in our sociology, that's like our 300s fields, because that's where I really like to read from, and where I can get a lot professionally from. So I'm anxious to read that. But 4 and 6 might just go by the wayside, and I'm just going to read what is on my TBR list.
We need to allow ourselves to do that every now and then.
Absolutely. So that wraps us up. Yes. We are looking forward to coming to the end of the year. In December, we'll have our next sheets ready for you. So we're pretty excited. We'll be really changing some things up and looking at some new challenges, some new things to do. So you won't want to miss our new challenges. Don't forget, Eden gave you an in on one of her book clubs. We're giving you some Don't Miss Us on Hometown Christmas. And as we have a little bit of teaser for the next video, we'll surely let you in on it. So happy reading.
Happy reading.